Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and this is my 50-second Saturday vlog. And I think it's significant to say that it's my 52nd consecutive Saturday vlog. That's right, folks. We have done 52 vlogs. We have done 52 videos in a series with no breaks. I haven't managed to get it to work when I had that issue in Texas. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So that's good stuff. I do have some stuff I want to talk about tonight, and the biggest thing is I'm going to be discussing, so the last two vlog vids was all about goals. You know, what is it I want to see in the coming year, and what did I achieve and what did I miss, and what we can do as a community to become better, you know, better us, right? Better people, better gamers, you know, how to utilize what we've built in our gaming lives to advantage, because, you know, we're probably, out of any individual group, we probably are the ones who underuse our skills the most, because we're always focused on the game, and there's nothing wrong with being focused on the game, but it's one of those things where we have to really kind of square it up with, okay, you know, we do have a real life we need to live at the same time. But I'm not gonna tangent too much into that. I'm more concerned with talking about the channel, what I'm expecting to do with it this year, in the direction I want to go. I think that I have been fairly modestly, I've been fairly successful this year. Adding 200 subscribers, I would call a success. You know, not gonna lie, I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. No sarcasm intended. That probably came out sarcastic. I'm just a little tired. And very few breaks in content creation 7 days a week. This week has been a little broken up because of Christmas. This is literally my busiest week of the year, or this was my busiest week of the year. So I couldn't produce anything on Christmas Eve because by the time I was done getting ready for Christmas, it was like 10 p.m. I'm sorry, at 10 p.m. I no longer have the ginger to put together a video that's worth anything, and so I just didn't produce one. And then I did have something prepared for, today's the 26th, and I'm producing this video. You'll be watching it on the 28th. I did have something produced for the 26th. I accidentally set it up to post on Monday because it's a Borderlands video. That's all pre-recorded like 2.5 weeks out. I misscheduled it. Shit happens. I'm sorry. There should have been no break in my McBain moments. I'm going to make sure I put that out tomorrow. And all of that isn't going to see any drastic change per se. There are a few things I am planning on doing. Number one, I don't know if this will be an addition to or if I'm going to alternate them. But other than think pieces, which I have been really kind of diving into with Entropia Universe, and I think that there's a lot of... I noticed that there's a lot of people who seem to enjoy those, so I'm going to continue doing them. And I'm going to try my best to make sure I'm not constantly repeating myself and harping on the same things, although reinforcement is important, and that's how we kind of develop things, is by going over things over and over and over again until we really hash out and really have things down. But that's not really necessarily the intent of the think pieces. It is, however, intended to make you think, and considering the number of people who are watching them, obviously you enjoy thinking, or maybe you just enjoy watching me hunt. Drop a comment either way. Let me know so that I know how to direct that. But the other thing I need to do, and this is something that I've really lacked on my channel, I need to do some basic, like, how to play Entropia Universe videos. And I think I have neglected that for too long. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I have over 100,000 skill points. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I might not have the raw experience that some of the bigger streamers or YouTubers have, but I think I've got something to offer, and I think I've got a unique perspective because I came in just as all the big changes started to happen, so I caught the tail end of the early version of the CryEngine, and I've watched Entropia Universe kind of develop more as it's being modernized. And so my intent is, starting in January, I'm going to start recording tutorial videos. These videos will not have any predetermined length, so I'm not going to be aiming for the half-hour mark with these, like I do with all of my other content, which is why it might be off schedule, or in addition to. And they're going to cover, real basic things. How to handle hunting punies. How to keep things to a budget. Whether to deposit or not. What is it really like to be in the sweat fields for hours and hours and hours at a time? Because I've done it. I went out and I sweat mobs for the 10,000 sweat that you need in order to get your Arcadia Passport. Oh, cool, we gained a rank. How to deal with the Codex missions. Perception. How to select skills so that you are building your avatar in a way that you really want to build it. And that's all new. Being able to target in and decide how you want to build your avatar. And of course, I'll do an updated version of the how to play Entropia Universe for free and all that jazz. And I'll do example videos and stuff like that. I haven't really determined the exact method in which I'm going to do that. I've got a couple of ideas. I am going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to create some content that'll be strictly on the YouTube channel, and then others that's going to direct you back to my personal website. And there'll be embedded videos, which will be from the channel, but they'll be unlisted. Just to see how many people actually, are interested in that sort of thing. I'm going to do some experimentation. I'm going to kind of mess around with things. I'm going to do a little more scripting with those videos. So I'll have the material kind of laid out on paper. I used to do that when I first started, and I kind of went away from it and became more spontaneous. And there's nothing wrong with being spontaneous, but if you're trying to do a tutorial video, the videos where you're trying to teach someone something, the idea is you're trying to solve a problem. But if you don't have it scripted, you may not solve the problem. You may do what I'm famous for and tangent. And so I'm here to, I might be here to say, let's see how many mobs we can kill using a Rubio. And I end up talking about rocket launchers. Doesn't really help anyone very well. These auto loot pills are pretty nice for hunting drones. I don't have to get too close to the group. Whether or not to use auto loot pills. These are all things that new players have to contend with. And if I've made it this far, I really should be doing something to help the new players. And so I think what I might do is I might point out some of the important chains that I've done, so that I can go back and say, okay, I did this chain. These are the people you want to see. This is basically what you're doing. And I've got a couple of other older ones where I was doing quest chains. I'll kind of encapsulate those, or maybe I'll make a place so it's easy for players to find those, new players to find those, so they can see what they're really going to be up against. Because so far I haven't really... I don't want to make the robot a disciple. That'd be pretty fucking cool, though. No, that's the one. But yeah, I'm gonna experiment a little bit. I'm gonna come up with some new content. Try to help some new players out. Because, really, if you've been playing for a couple of years, if you've made 100,000 skill points, it's time to give something back and, help grow the community a little bit, at least in my opinion. And I think every player does in some way, shape, or form. If you got 100,000 skill points, you're given something. Even if it's just adding to the loot pill so that other players can get globals. And some of those new players get those globals. I'm also going to be working on other skill sets that I haven't really taken the time to build, and so I'm going to be exploring, and that will be more active, you know, hey, I've never done this before, so let's do a video to figure out how to get this done. Like, I've never really crafted. I would love to get into crafting. It's a very expensive skill to build up, but it's worthwhile. I could do a lot more mining. I haven't really spent a lot of time mining, at least not in over a year. When I first started, I did quite a bit of mining. It's kind of therapeutic, but I really haven't in recent days, so I think that would be a worthwhile thing to do. And, you know, showing players how to effectively mine, or at least how I find it to be effective to mine, and try to figure out those areas which new players can mine effectively so that they're not just dumping ped into the ether. And non-Entropia universe related videos, I'm going to continue doing at least one single player game at a time. There are a few on my docket. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to do first. I kind of want to do another survival one, so Subnautica is definitely on my radar. And I think I'll do that after Borderlands 2. I want to knock out the 2 Crash Bandicoot games that I did not do this year. Crash 2 and Crash 3. I want to do Limbo, which I have not done, but I have. It's kind of waiting in my queue. There's a couple that Steam like just gave out that I'm interested in trying, and they appear to be puzzle games, like standard 2.5D puzzle games, and so they look interesting. And so I'm thinking about doing those as well. Just lots of opportunity. But Subnautica is most likely going to be the next one on my list. I'm currently doing a playthrough of BattleTech that I'm not recording, which I know sounds counterintuitive. That was kind of my Christmas. Actually, that wasn't kind of my Christmas. That was my Christmas. You know, after presents were open, it was a really low-key year for this family. You know, I suspended the rules on screen time for my son. That was one of my gifts to him for Christmas, because he's kept to a strict screen time limitation because he's 12. And I think that children need to have that limit to learn discipline. But it was Christmas, and you know, on Christmas, on certain vacations, I'll suspend those rules. And so he was like ecstatic, and he played video games a good chunk of the game. I played video games a good chunk of the day. We spent some time together, so don't think we didn't. We did. But I got him Pokemon Soul Silver for the DS, the only copy that GameSpot had, and it's hard to find those older Pokemon games. And I say older, I started with Pokemon Red. No one judge me. You all know you liked Pokemon back in the day when it first came out. Red, blue, and yellow. Oh yeah. Well, red and blue, and then later yellow after the cartoon came out, or the anime came out. You know you loved it. We all loved it. We were all obsessed. Well, I actually introduced him to Red, but then I found one for his DS, which is a little bit more I wouldn't say it's more user-friendly, because it's not. Back then they were still fairly what's a kind way to say this? Brutal, but it's more accessible, I think, for him. They did make the games more accessible as time went on. Less grindy. Not by a lot, but just a touch. Which, I know, I need to teach him to embrace the grind too. We're working on that. 12 is not a great age to say embrace the damn grind. 15, 16, that's when you start to get in and say, okay, buddy, welcome to the grind. This is your life. But yeah, that's all good stuff. There, see it tangenting. So yeah, that's my basic plan for single player games. I think my next one's gonna be, I'm almost positive my next one's gonna be Subnautica. I have not played that game in far too, you know, I've kind of touched on the game, never beaten it. My son's kind of done some spoilery things for me, so I know some of the basic end game results, but not enough to know what I'm doing. And, you know, I kind of miss the survival aspect. Borderlands doesn't have the whole, hey, if you run out of food, you're going to starve to death, dude. And it's going to add some elements that we didn't have in We Happy Few, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And it's less combat focused than all of the other games. Which, I mean, you know me, I'm not exactly against combat focus. If I was against combat focus, I wouldn't be playing frickin' Borderlands. But it's a change of pace. In other series, McBain moments will continue on just as they are. Twice a week, between 6 and 8 minutes at a time. I'm going to try to keep from going over 8 minutes. I think once you go over 8 minutes, you're into a more full-length video. But the entire purpose behind that is to be kind of blurby. You know, okay, we're gonna kind of talk for 8 minutes about this subject. And now I'm going to leave it to you to kind of come back and... I want to use those to start a conversation. And not a whole lot of conversations have been started, but I'd like to use it to start a conversation. So if you're watching this, I know there are people who watch them who enjoy them. I've gotten a few comments on that. I know at least one of other YouTuber watches them fairly regular, or at least semi-regularly. And so I enjoy doing them, which is why I do them. But I also want to make sure that they're useful. I enjoy doing them, but part of the reason I enjoy doing them is because I think it provides value to our community as gamers. Because it's something gamers don't hear enough of. Oh, did I not finish him off? No, I did. We don't get enough encouragement as gamers. We don't get enough push. Or if we get the push, we get it in a negative way. And that's part of the reason I do the McBain moments. It's to remind us, you know, hey, if we really want to do the thing, we can do the thing. Now go out and do the thing. Here's the way you do the thing. God, that was peak millennial. My biggest fear, both my biggest hope and my biggest fear is that my 18-year-old will find this channel and start watching me. But he's in the Navy, so I don't think he's watching a whole lot of YouTube. The other thing I want to do, and this is going to be in the style of the McBain moments, but I don't know if it's going to be 8 minutes a piece or if these are going to be more full length, because these are things that I think are going to be, ooh, Papillon, Peplon. So, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who you all know is in my probably top 5 most influential people in my life that I've never met, wrote his book 12 Rules for Life. And 12 Rules for Life stemmed from a Quora post that he made regarding, you know, what rules would you say to lead a positive life? And I don't remember the exact question that was originally asked that he answered, but his response was 42 rules, axioms, to lead a productive life. And for 12 Rules for Life, he had written a number of essays for them. He pared them down. I think originally it was supposed to be it was going to be all 42, and then he pared them down, and he pared them down again, and then he had settled on 16, but then he cut 4, and it ended up being 12. And it ended up being the 12 most important things, to be quite frank. And I'll tell you, if you haven't read his book, go read it. I don't care if you don't read. Buy the audiobook, put it on a laptop, put it on your phone, and listen to the damn thing while you hunt an Entropia universe. No, I am not sponsored by Jordan Peterson, but that would be fucking awesome. Literally changed my life. But anyway, I want to do thought pieces on these 42 axioms that he came up with. Not only because I find all of them to be valuable, not only because I'm a student of what I believe I've coined the phrase Petersonian philosophy, because I know he hasn't used that, and I don't know that anyone else has either. So I'm a student of Petersonian philosophy. I think these 42 things are very important for us to think about, and so I'm going to do think pieces on all 42 of these. Now, whether or not these will be to a gaming backdrop or if they'll be face cam, I have not decided yet. And then, like, the frequency at which I'll put those out, what the time slot is, all that's TBD. You know? So we'll figure that out. My sound keeps cutting. That's really weird. I wonder if that's going to be in the final cut. I don't know if there's a... There might be a sound issue with Entropia Universe tonight, which happens. I was checking to see if it was... It seemed to line up with my talking for a minute there, so I wanted to check that. So yeah, that's the major plan for 2020. I am planning, like I said before, I am going to be producing certain content that I'm actually going to embed into pages on my website, and I'll direct you to them for those who are interested. It's an experiment I'm doing. This year I tried being in like an Amazon affiliate program. That didn't work out for me, so I'm not selling anything. If I do, I'll let you know, because I respect you. You know, if you subscribe to my channel, you watch my shit, you have my respect, because I can hardly put up with me, and you're voluntarily watching me. Yes, that's some self-effacing humor. Okay, that was weird. Thought I had a message, but I'd already read it, but Facebook was saying I hadn't, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything important. So yeah, that's the sum of what my plans are. I love making content. I love the fact that people actually enjoy the content. I'm not loving the fact that this is so freaking dark. And I really appreciate the fact that all of you have decided to come and watch my stuff. And so I'm just going to try to continue to provide that value to you. Continue to produce content that I enjoy producing. Because I'm not going to lie, if I didn't enjoy producing the content, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I don't make him any money off of doing this. At least Wade's not at this point. Of course, that is my goal for 2020, to become a partner. So, if you ain't subscribed yet, hit the little button down below. But yeah. Someone globaled for 6 pad. Okay. We're gonna head back toward Camp Icarus now. Actually, you know, we're just gonna kind of get to a safe area, and then I will do the outro. In any case, my goal is to continue to create, continue to provide, continue to have fun. Because that's what this is all about. You know, I want to be consistent. My goal, I want to do 400 videos in 2020. Is what it comes down to. I want to do 400 videos. 7 days a week. That's 365 videos of the series I'm already doing, plus the 42 rules. So that is going to be a separate series. And that'll end up being like 407. And who knows, I might, binge play a shorter game and throw that up too. And then I did a bunch of face cam phone videos this year. I don't know if I'm going to do that next in 2020. They were modestly popular, but not really. I'll figure that out. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time. So make sure you subscribe so we can hit 1,000 in 2020. Guys, I really appreciate all of your time and support. You all have an outstanding rest of your day.